Howdy folks, I think it's pretty obvious to see what we're going to be fixing today. The wife's car here, the one headlight isn't putting out any more photonis. She's been complaining about this for the last couple of months. It's very intermittent. Every now and then the one headlight doesn't work. These are the Porsche Litronics, so they're the Xenon HID headlights. So it could be either a bulb or a ballast. Now what I did is, the problem actually used to be on the driver's side over here. That was the one that wouldn't work. And all she'd do is, she said she'd just turn it off and turn it back on and the lights worked fine. So to find out if it was a bulb or the HID ballast, what I did is I took the bulb out and swapped it to the other side, and the problem followed the bulb. So we know it's a bulb issue, and ordered a couple of new bulbs for it, which is good, because I'm sure the HID ballasts cost a small fortune. Of course, you could retrofit, an HID ballast from a conversion kit for a lot less, but it's a lot of messing around. Anyways, we're dealing with a bulb since the problem followed the bulb. And I'm just going to show you in this video how to, pull the headlight assembly out, how to change the bulb. And this is the Porsche 986. The replacement method would be the same for the 996 because they share the same headlights. Inside the front trunk here with the hood or the bonnet open, this is the right side headlight over here, and to access it you have to take this off. I have to do both sides. I should mention, with HID bulbs, these are actually the original bulbs, so they're almost 20 years old, so it's amazing they've lasted that long. Keep in mind that this car's in Canada anyways, these things are the daytime running lights, so they're on. The HID bulbs are on whenever the car is running. They certainly do last a long time. However, with HID bulbs, their color temperature changes as they age. So if you were just to replace the one bulb, there's a good chance the color would be different between both sides after you're finished. So generally when you do one, you just want to do both. So I ordered two bulbs, but I'm just going to show you on the one light here that's not working. So anyways, to get at these rascals, in the little tool pouch or bag that comes with these cars, there's this funny little tool in it. Hopefully that's focusing and you can see it. And to get this cover off, there's one of these little clips. You just got to get your hand back there as you pull that out, and just kind of push this cover off to the side, hold it off to the side. Now there's a bunch of little plastic covers in here. The one you want to take out is this round knob one. Okay, that's how you access the release mechanism for the headlight. Just get the tool, put it in there, and you turn it clockwise, and you hear it pop. And as you turn it, the headlight will move forward and out of the fender well. Fear not if you don't have the socket in your toolkit, or you don't have the toolkit. The inside of it that goes on the release mechanism is a 5mm socket essentially. So you've got a 5mm socket, which you've got right here, that will also work to release the light housing bracket. Looking at the headlight, I'm just going to turn it again. So you turn it clockwise, you hear it pop, and as you turn it, as you turn that key, the light comes free, and then it just pulls out. And depending on your model, there may be a connector in here or not. There is on this one. It's just one connector. It's right here. And then this whole assembly comes out. It's pretty neat. The main plug for it is right here. It actually slides into a plug that's fixed right in the mounting mechanism or tray that's in the fender. We'll just zoom in there to take a look so you can see that. So there's the main connector it's mounted right in that tray, and when the light slides in, this, by the way, this is the mechanism that grabs the light and pulls it and locks it. So when you pull it back, there's a catch on the light, that's what pulls it back into the fender well, and when you turn it clockwise, that's what pushes it forward and releases it. Pretty neat method. Now, if you were really anal, this would be a good time to clean all this out. I should have mentioned that the removal process would be the same for the halogen headlight assembly, not just the Litronic one. And you access the bulb from the back, same as with the HID. So anyways, to get at the bulbs on these, this is the HID ballast right at the back. This whole back cover pops off. I should also mention these use 35 watt Xenon HID bulbs. So we get this open, there's just this little tab that you pull, and then this whole thing comes out. This is where I said if your ballast was shot, this is where you could probably put an aftermarket, like an HID conversion kit ballast in. In fact, you could open this one up, pull the guts out of it, and put one of those slimline ones in, the ones that are quite small. And then you've got the little connector that goes onto the bulb. So hopefully we can see this. I'm just going to pan up a bit. So there's the bulb. It's a DS2 bulb. And there's a plastic ring. And you just snap it counterclockwise, and the bulb and the ring will come out. That ring's not part of the bulb. It's just what holds the bulb into place. And you can't really tell when an HID bulb if it's faulty. There's no filament that you can see. You know, there's just a little glass bubble in there with the gas in it, and when the high voltage goes through, it's just basically making a glowing ball of plasma, very bright. So that's how you get the bulb out. Now we've got a couple of new bulbs here. Now I didn't get these, the ones that were in from the factory. This is a Phillips bulb. I looked for these online. Here in Canada, a single bulb's almost $100. A pair, like 200. I know down in the States they're about half that. But I just went to Amazon and got just some no-name brand D2S bulbs. These are 4300 Kelvin that came with the car. I've decided to go up to 5000. Big important thing, do not touch the glass with your hands. I should probably have some gloves on. So we'll just compare the cheapy one to the Phillips. Here's the cheapy one. Here's the expensive Phillips. Just make sure they've got the same base. Make sure the globe or the little center bubble is at the exact same height. So the focal point is correct, but I'm sure it'll work just fine. Now to put these in, they're a bit of a bugger. Best to put the little ring on first. Now on the ring it says top, and you want to align that top mark. There's also a little notch on the bulb. Okay, and there's a notch in the light housing that little notch goes into, and then you just turn the ring to lock it. Like I said, this can be a real bugger. And the only reason I know about this is when I swapped the bulbs, it took me forever to figure out how to get this thing back in. So yeah, you can feel the bulb lock in there, and then you just turn the ring. And it's in there, and then you just fire the little base back on. It's kind of a bayonet. There's two pins that lock it, and as you turn it, it pulls it onto the back of the bulb. Now, before we're going to put it in, we're going to actually test this. to test this, these are the two power leads that power up the HID ballast. Here, let me go down a bit. So the yellow is 12 volts positive, the brown is your ground, 12 volts negative. And if you look at the pins here, the yellow is this one, and the brown is the one beside it. So if you wanted to test this out, you would use these two bottom pins. Top one's positive, bottom one's ground or negative, and you're feeding it 12 volts DC. So I'm just going to get a 3S LiPo battery out, and we'll just power those pins up to see if the bulb lights. I just thought I'd show this connector a little bit better, which pins we're going to hook the power up to. So positive is the one on the left side here, and negative is on the right. Again, they're the two bottom pins in that housing. Now there may be different configurations, but this is on our little 986, so I would assume they're all the same, but if not, just follow that brown and yellow wire that go to the HID ballast and find out which pins they go to. Now naturally you don't have to do this, I'm just doing it just to show it on the video here, but it's kind of neat to make sure it's going to work before we plug it back in. Just see if those cheapy bulbs work. So black to black, positive to positive. Okay, let's see if photonis start working here. Beauty. No, that's not blue at all. The 5000 Kelvin is just a very nice bright white. So I'm kind of glad I went with that. I should mention these cheapy bulbs from Amazon, the pair were 20 bucks. So, you know, compare that to the 200 or so for the Philips, yeah, order of magnitude. You know, even if they last 1/4 of the time, it's still worth it. But if they crap out in a week, well, yeah. But I've put HID conversion kits in, you know, quads, snowmobiles, that kind of thing. Those, you know, the Chinese bulbs, they seem to last just as well as the German ones or the Philips ones. The only thing I have noticed with the Chinese HID kits and the bulbs, sometimes you get a pair and the colors don't match, so it'll be interesting to see if the colors match on this. But geez, I like that white. That's a nice color. So I washed it all out, just blew it dry. So anyways, to put this back in, there's our one little wire we have to plug in, and the other one's at the back. This little catch, just make sure it's down in the recess. It's up, it will get in the way. There's these channels here that these little pins on the light housing slide into. So I'll just plug that harness in first before we go any further. Oops, wrong one. It goes back here. Just get those pins lined up. Push it in. Now we'll turn that little latch counterclockwise. Hear it snap. She's locked. Now let's go inside. We'll turn the ignition on. It's hard to tell on the camera, but the new one, the 5000 Kelvin, is I like the light better. It's not quite as yellow as the 4300. Definitely a whiter light. So I'm quite glad I went with that over the 4300. So I'm just going to have to do the other side now. But anyways, hope that kind of took the mystery out of changing a bulb on one of these things if you have to. It's very easy. Cheers, folks. Have a good one.